Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to TV Time, our starting Good Omens Season 2. And I love this opening scene. It's such a pretty, the VFX artists really put a lot of time into this
I
and it
agree.
shows. It looks amazing.
Yeah. I feel like they should have I feel like they should have started season one with this, swap the two seasons. Because season two in my opinion, is like 100 times better than season one.
I mean, Season 1 is also based on the book.
Yeah. But, yeah, still.
I don't think they expected it to be as big as it got.
Yeah. That's a bit like, that's think that really watch this. We've watched this a number of times. I find it weird how I didn't think of it till still when Crowley says let there be light and then all this gas and space chemical stuff in space just appears alongside the light. Like there's a huge vat close and he's like, what is this? Oh yeah, light. And then the light comes in. And then also the space gases and whatnot as well. Weird. But also, and it begs the question, this part, as Phil tells Billy, oh yeah, they're gonna be erasing all this, even though you just created everything. Exactly, what's the point? And so starts his downfall to becoming a demon.
All he did was ask the wrong questions. And you can see here in this first scene, his wings are starting to,
And there's a,
the feathers are starting to splinter.
and there's a, it wasn't the fact that he asked the wrong questions, it's the fact that he questioned things in general. He makes a really good point there.
But you can't create something that's meant to last for millions of years and then destroy it after 6,000. Do you think that's a commentary on how often people buy things and then throw them away when they're still usable? Instead of donating or reusing or recycling? He said, how much trouble can I get into? And then the shadow hit. And if you look, his wings are gray here instead of white like Aziraphale's. But he does put one wing out to shield his head, just like he did in the first episode when it started raining in the Garden of Eden.
The more you watch both seasons of Omens, the more you see a yin yang between Chloe and Zerafel. They both have good and evil. Well, bits are equal, I guess. And they show it in their own unique ways.
Like at the end of the first season when Aziraphale said, this couldn't have happened if you didn't have, deep down, just a bit of good inside you. And Crowley replied with, and if you weren't just enough of a bastard to be worth knowing. That's like the whole thesis of this series, I think, is what makes someone good, what makes someone bad, what happens when you're so focused on being good you stop questioning whether you are. I love Maggie's outfit here, the blue and white with the red headband. Her jacket is very heavily embroidered. It's a very thin, lacy top. I do like how Crowley's introduction is him like, what's the fucking point of it? Like, what matters? Whereas Aziraphale's is, I don't care that you owe me £1,000 in rent. It's fine. Just give me some records and we're good. I remember when I was a kid, every time we visited my dad's mom, we'd go out to eat in this one shopping center, and there was a pond with a bunch of ducks. And we'd always take the free bread from the restaurant and feed the ducks with them. Then, like 15 years later, I find out that bread is bad for ducks and you should give them frozen veggies instead. Like, well, shit. Never mind.
I love that line where Chloe says that you should give them frozen peas. It's a lot better for them. But also that they love them as well. I just find that adorable. I just imagine Chloe just randomly feeding ducks and like the demons just question it. They wonder why he does it. And because they don't understand. I imagine them being scared of it when they find out. Because they question like, was he up to with those ducks? Was he feeding them food?
Is he breeding a duck army? Why not a goose army? Back to Maggie's outfit. The little appliques on there are very like classic tattoos, like traditional American tattoos. She's got kind of a rockabilly thing going on. Maggie is dressed like she came straight out of the 50s, which makes sense for like a record shop owner. And here comes Michael walking naked through the streets. Modern day Adam.
I thought his name was Gabriel.
You're right, it is Gabriel, my bad. Well, if everyone's stopping to film like a naked man, is that surprising?
It's about Tuesday in Florida, though.
Yeah, like it's downtown of a major city. You know that everyone filming a TikTok had that go viral where Gabriel hugged Aziraphale and Aziraphale's just like, what the fuck? Is that the same actress that played Tracy in the first season? The voice sounds very similar.
And on the box of matches, it says, out of his mouth go burning lamps, it sparks off, it sparks of fire, beep out. John 41:19 on the box of matches. Right, and only 304. If you look on the wall, behind Philly, there's a yin yang symbol. And we were just talking about these symbols of like yin yang. Then, both Philly and Aziraphale, besides, their primary colors being all black and all white.
The girl who played Madame Tracy is the girl who plays Shax. Miranda Richardson. I love how Nina asks how his naked man friend in it is, and Crowley goes, oh, that's more interesting than I thought we were going to talk about. Aziraphale explains nothing before he brings Crowley to the shop. Crowley is fully ready to throw down with an archangel. What is on Muriel's socks? They look like pockets on top of her socks.
Around 33-ish minutes.
There's Crowley's plants that he terrifies into being lush and green. It always bothers me that they changed Beelzebub's character design to make her less revolting season 2. Great that they've got Loverboy by Queen playing while Crowley runs for Aziraphale. Or drives to Aziraphale, I guess. I love that little You Were Right dance.
And it's hilarious.
They're performing the miracle in the same spot that Aziraphale did the circle to go up to heaven in season 1. With special thanks to Queen. I love that.
Yeah,
The,
that's episode 1, season 2.
I like the end theme being done by a choir. They did the Good Omens theme and then they moved into the Every Day It's a Getting Closer in the end credits. It's a nice little Easter egg there.
Next up is season 2, episode 2.
2500 BC, huh? The Land of Ooze.
It's by like the very long scroll flows. And so starts that one song.
A miracle so powerful that only the greatest of archangels could perform it. Is their little half a miracle apiece. It's the power of love. This is an anime now.
I really love that theme song. The intro.
I'm pretty sure I'm in love. You've had 2 conversations with her.
And yet she wants to get you all with her.
Truly, the lesbian experience.
To those who are not LGBT plus, it's meant to be taken lightheartedly.
I love the one archangel miracling a ramp into existence for accessibility.
I love a song that plays But Every Day by Buddy Holly. It's a very good song. Oh, the Bible. So happy she made the cut. But I hear what David. That's why it did it. And I just tried something to do. I was like, have you blown one? And I was like, but you haven't done anything. He's like,
But can I?
but yeah, I want to be. He's like, okay, there you go. I just love that. I feel like more people should be like Jemima, you know? A little bit of silliness, strangeness.
Release your inner child.
Yeah, it's very, makes life more interesting.
Gotta have fun.
Makes it more enjoyable. Less too short.
So many books beginning with it and thee. The book that Gabriel pulls out at the end of his little shelving spree. In the beginning, it was a nice day. That's Good Omens. The book. That's Good Omens, the book. In the beginning, it was a nice day. All the days so far have been nice. That's also how they started season 1, was by reading that part of the book out loud.
Oh, so that's fourth wall break there.
This scene where Aziraphale's like, I'm a fallen angel. I lied to thwart the will of God. And Crowley goes, I'm not going to tell anyone. Are you? And then the subtext is, clearly God hasn't noticed, so how big a deal do you want this to be?
Also implies that God doesn't notice much. At least not what the angels say or do.
I personally think it's more likely that this was God testing Aziraphale more than Job. Like, alright, if I do something really fucking awful, are you going go along with it and pretend to do good? Or are you actually going to do something good? You know? Because that's.
Yeah, I guess. That was episode 2, season 2.
Let's keep it rolling with episode 3.
Jib's Hot Chocolate Jizz Mug.
I love how they got like a cricket for gold to iron onto the mug and a pail there. He's still using that mug with the uncomfortable angel wing handle. Just said that's one Americano with hazelnut syrup and oat milk or whatever, and then she hands the girl a pack of 4 coffees.
Wait, so here around, well, they were early in the Zerville. Dress white, richly. They got top hats, they got like rich people, English rich people, clothing.
1873.
1873. I don't understand why either one of them, especially the angel and demon, respectively, they don't just conjure up somebody for those poor people.
So there was that whole conversation they just had where Aziraphale's like, the poorer you are, the more opportunities you have to choose to be good. That's why he's not doing it. I think Crowley's not doing it just because he likes the chaos. And he's like, yeah, I mean, I can't get involved in everything, but.
I think, but like, Aziraphale, he's an angel.
Mm-hmm.
He could do good by giving those poor people who desperately need it money, or at least just food, even. Just give them food, you know? They need more food than money.
But that doesn't help their soul. That only helps their body. And Aziraphale doesn't give a shit about their bodies.
What's Philo?
It is. But I guess when you've been around since the dawn of creation, 20 to 60 years on is nothing. You know, it's like, cool, you spend 20 to 60 years here and then you're.
Frozen. He could conjure up money and cause chaos that way.
He's a demon.
Yeah,
How exactly would that cause chaos?
just conjure up money and have it rain upon the poor people's little alley there.
Okay. How would that cause chaos?
The economy, I don't know. Supply and demand. Butterfly effects.
I don't know. Whenever they show hell, people are always walking everywhere, but they never seem to get where they're going. When Gabriel kept dropping the book, Beetle got very spooked every time the thud. She's just like staring at the front door now. Dalrymple, the surgeon, that's Oliver Wood.
Oh yeah. Mystery can't get to pitch. Yeah, I see.
Crowley acting like a fool.
340, 3040. I believe he drank the poison he got drunk off of it. Okay, so, like I said earlier.
Okay, so Crowley yells at Aziraphale to give Elsbeth the 90 guineas in his purse. A guinea, according to Wikipedia, is equal to 20 shillings. So a guinea is a pound. Guinea is worth a pound. For comparison, Elsbeth got 5 pounds for one body. So the 90 guineas that Aziraphale had is worth the same as 18 bodies.
It's about around 3331 of episode 3.
And Crowley's running around drunk and or high off the laudanum.
AKA the poison. When Crowley hears the phone ring, he literally chucks the stack of books onto the floor. And if his phone, he's like, we all want it. I don't have like what like you want, so stop calling. Basically. It's just great.
Wait, what did he do? What did he do with the Nazis, babe? I think he just miracled a newer phone into existence for the neo-Nazis. And did he take the tattoos off that guy's face too?
Not the teardrops. I'd say still. I think he just fixed the glass on his and changed his wallpaper. But yeah, that was around 36, 37 mark. It didn't work.
When Shax is trying to get into the bookshop, we are introduced to the idea that demons can't enter the bookshop without permission for some reason.
Or 2 minute mark.
Also, when did they start using they pronouns for Beelzebub instead of she? I don't remember that from the first season.
And that was episode 3.
1 to 4. I love the deal the Nazis make to come back as zombies. Such a fun little, yep, why not? Might as well happen.
It beats big. He reconstituted be doing it for all eternity by a demon spider.
True.
That's rough. 13.5 minute arc. Heaven. Episode 4. The outfits this show goes away. Around 25 minutes in, he don't look comfortable at all. Zerafil with his tribal mustache.
Cheap looking cloak. The camera's shaking in this scene. It's like Aziraphale's voice. I do just want to point out that after Crowley shoots a gun at Aziraphale for the first time, the next time they see each other is when Crowley's asking for holy water in the 70s.
That was episode 4.
Moving on to 5. Love Aziraphale bribing people to come to the meeting. It's fun to me compare Hell's Quartermaster to Heaven's Quartermaster. Because Hell's got one guy on a microfiche machine who knows where things are at any given time. Heaven's got layers of bureaucracy, dozens of angels, all of whom are responsible for one small cog in the machine. And again, accountability, doing good versus appearing good. If something goes wrong in hell, it comes back on that one demon. If something goes wrong in heaven, it comes back on so many people. Don't even know who to blame.
Well, a Doctor Who reference there.
Probably picking up a fez.
Ain't wearing it.
I love how the rabbit demon is the one questioning, are we actually fighting angels? What are we doing? And she's like, we're going to Earth to storm a bookshop. And the rabbit demon is the only one of those demons who knows which only bookshop that Hell would care about and why they care about. And he has this look on his face of, oh, that's not a good idea.
But they can't enter the bookshop now.
No, but do they know that? So offended at the idea that Aziraphale would be a side piece. Like, been together long? And you know Crowley's first thought was, since the dawn of creation. Can't really say that.
He can say it in his head.
Yeah, it's not out loud.
When we do the Dexter show, you guys are in for a real treat. Not sure when we're gonna do Dexter, but when I'll do Dexter some point in the future for the TV Time podcast. So I just thought of this, but look at how many mortals think that Riley's blind with his glasses on.
I just think they're weird sunglasses. He's pretty clearly looking at people and navigating.
Yeah, I guess.
I love Gabriel just playing with the lamp. It just occurred to me that Gabriel's journey in season 2 mirrors the story of Adam. Like, when he came to Earth, he was, first off, naked, as they were in the Garden of Eden. No shame, didn't know the concept of shame. Didn't know good, evil, right, wrong, truth, lie. Didn't understand any of it. And he's slowly starting to pick up on all of it. You know, like he's fully clothed here. He's not naked anymore, even though he's alone in a room. He's kind of like, I'm empty now. I was full, now I'm empty. He's grasping, opposites, differences, changes. And I'm not fully convinced that that's something most angels can do. Because you think about the mini-sode with Job and Job's children. They were talking about how babies are born and you pull a rib out of a man and it becomes another person. Or you pull a rib out of a woman and it becomes a person. And that's how they got the new children for Job. And so I don't know that Gabriel or the angels in general are capable of that kind of change. And I think that's one of the things that makes Aziraphale so different, is that he does understand change, he does understand growth, because he's seen it so often on his thousands of years on Earth. Over and over, he's seen people grow and change and die. And the angels don't really see that up in heaven. They're the same as they always were. It's business as usual. Everything's been the same forever. There's no reason to change or grow because there's nothing pushing them into it, if that makes sense. The setup for the whatever conflict is going to be in season 3, I feel like that's the setup there, is, are you capable of changing? Because remember, so far the only angels that have changed are angels that have fallen and become demons. And so not only do angels not have a reason to change, they're incentivized to stay the same no matter what, for fear of being cast down into hell. Which is a very long-winded way of saying Gabriel is slowly starting to learn how to change and adapt as a human.
But I think the big problem is the angels don't see that change is sometimes warranted. And adaptation is also warranted, but they don't see that. Unlike, say, Crowley, for example. They don't ask the big questions, not only out of fear, but also because they are understanding oh, it's God's big plan. You just gotta follow his plan and, do what, God says. But I don't know, I might be a little biased here, but like, I grew up in Christian life for basically my whole life up to a point, up until like my later teen years, but like, really, and I guess the other demons, they started to not make sense anymore. There's a bunch of contradictions and just do this, not that. Do as I say, not as I do. Just things that just didn't sit right with me. And I always wondered why. Why, it says not to, do, not to do this or say this or that, but then also don't do this and that and the other thing as well when it contradicts the first thing. You know what I mean?
I do. It's like, I think it was Paul. Was it Paul? Let me make sure I'm quoting the right book here.
I mean, well, she's done it. I know, like, one example was don't cast stones against somebody anymore unless you're gonna cast stones to yourself or something like that. There's also the thing of, oh my God can judge you. So, like, that's a contradiction in itself, in a way. And, like, today, yeah, there's, like, tons of clothing with different materials and fabrics made, and
Look,
for millennia, we've made and worn clothing that makes fabrics and materials like basically just going against what the Bible says for clothing for a millennia. And I've seen videos online where like atheists have gone up to Christians and Catholics and whatnot, and they've pointed that out too. They're like, well, I mean, and they just stay about it. Yeah, like they're just dumbfounded, especially when they're shown the scripture of that, and like they just have an identity crisis basically, even for a short moment, and like it just kind of begs the question: what rules apply? Which rules do you follow? Which rules get changed? Why do they get changed? It's questions like this. In this show at least, and in Greek mythologies too. There's a weird parallel there, where certain characters of the show in Greek mythology where characters were punished for asking questions such as those. Like, why? Basically just why questions. But they were punished for asking out of curiosity. And I feel like if the questions are to be asked, there's a reason for it. Probably he shaped the universe as the big old book chucked him to.
mm-hmm.
And then when Aziraphale told him, oh, hey, they're going to be shutting Paul us down in about 6,000 years or whatever, he looked at Aziraphale, he's like, huh? I just made all this. What do you mean? Why? What's the point of making it then? And it's like, again, the questions like that is why he got cast down as a demon, despite the fact that all he did was ask questions out of curiosity. He got punished for curiosity.
Yeah, he sauntered vaguely downwards, as the book says, for asking questions. It was First Corinthians I was thinking of earlier, which is a Pauline epistle. I forget where I was going with it, but it was First Corinthians I was thinking of.
The thing is, like, how are you supposed to understand things or know things unless you ask questions? I learned that very early on in my life. I'm a very curious person. Rachel, as I was like a million questions a day. I've always been a very curious person. Sure, there's the matter of like I have difficulty understanding things, but that aside, I've always questioned things as a in general, oftentimes in ways people haven't really thought of. I've always liked how like different stuff works, like a phone, for example. Back in middle school, I was very fascinated about like all the little components to help to make a phone work because I was curious. And if I wasn't curious, how would I know?
You gotta question things. You gotta question your beliefs every so often, or you'll just be stagnant, like the angels in this show who question nothing.
Yeah,
Right, contradictions. That's where we were. We're at
yes,
contradictions in the Bible.
it's the shit ton.
Oh yeah. And I was thinking First Corinthians chapter 7 where Paul says, "Do not deprive each other except perhaps by mutual consent and for a time, then come together again so Satan will not tempt you from your lack of self-control." I say this as a concession, not a command. To the unmarried and the widows, I say it is good for them to stay unmarried as I do, but if they cannot control themselves, they should marry, for it is better to marry than to burn with passion. So, if you want to have sex, you gotta be married. If you don't want to have sex, don't get married. If you want to have sex, but you don't want to get married, then you go to hell. And that's where I think a lot of this is coming from, right? Because if you have sex outside of marriage, that is as bad as rape, that is as bad as murder, because you're still committing a sin, basically. And Paul's like, well, all y'all are just assholes. I don't have a problem with it. Why do you? No, I'm not going to get into it. This is not a theology seminar. And then I was thinking specifically of Lot, and his wife was turned into a pillar of salt while they fled Sodom and Gomorrah. Him, his wife, the two daughters, they went to a cave by Sodom and Gomorrah. His wife was turned into a pillar of salt for turning to look back on the life that was being destroyed. And so that night, his daughters get him drunk and have sex with him in order to be impregnated by him. And First Corinthians specifically condemns incest, specifically condemns sex outside of marriage. And then you've got the story of Lot, where this is presented as a godly thing to do. The look on Bree's face, I don't think she knew that part of the story of Lot. She did not know that part of Lot's story.
Yeah, there's a reason not to swim their own gene pool.
In middle school, it was explained to us as if you know how closely you're related, you're too closely related to have sex. Those were the words straight out of my gym teacher's mouth in 6th grade. I grew up in a small, highly religious community. Like, we regularly had Bible readings in the public schools. We had a tarot shop get burned to the ground because it was ungodly to have it in the town.
That's illegal.
Sure shit is.
All of it.
Yeah.
Separation of church and state.
Yeah, but that's the kind of community I grew up in. So while my home was not particularly religious, everybody around me was. We had 2 Jewish kids in the school, which I know because we knew everyone. Were you Catholic? Were you Protestant? Were you Lutheran? Were you Methodist? Were you a heretic? Because those were the 5 categories we had. 6 categories we had, excuse me.
I want to take a quick pause here. We are talking about this because this is a Christian-based kind of show.
Babe, it is angels,
Christian,
demons, God, heaven,
Yeah.
hell.
Yeah. It's a Christian theology-ish, like Christian, Baptist, etc. theology show. So it's appropriate.
Yeah, we came onto this specifically because they're asking theological questions in this show. And so now we're bringing up our own. And these are just our own viewpoints. You are free to disagree, leave us comments disagreeing. Just keep it civil, no threats, insults. You talk about the argument, not the person, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Which I know is like throwing oil on the fire at this point after everything we've said so far.
Yeah, it's just. I think the last thing I'll say about this before we continue on is the Bible itself was not created until hundreds of years later. So it's essentially a very long day of telephone.
Yeah, these are not native Australians with their 100% accurate oral tradition. These are letters and stories and legends that were passed down over generations before they were written down and then translated. Then the Council of Nicaea decided which books and letters would be canonical and which would be supplemental or non-canonical or non-existent, honestly. And then you have so many translations, you have so many people changing the Bible for political reasons. You look at King James and what he decided to pull out. You look at the witch hunter, like the witch hunter army, which featured in season 1 of Good Omens. And I think that was also King James. Was that James the First? Let me look that up.
But yeah, like over the years since the Bible itself is made, like King James version and all the other shit, different versions, the Bible itself has been altered countless times. Like there's just verses that have been altered slightly, verses altered completely, such as the one where it says, "A man shall not lay with a man to sin." That verse was originally transcribed as, "A man shall not lay with that of a minor is sin."
But even then, that's also translation. It was James the First of England, who was James the Sixth of Scotland. I was thinking of who was the witch hunter king. But when you're dealing with 1600-year-old texts, things are not going to have the same meaning. Like, you say young boy now, I could be saying, oh, he's pretty young and mean 18, 20. Or I could say, oh, he's
Yeah.
young and mean 6. And the ancient Aramaic, I suppose, was the original Bible. I don't believe they had a concept of age of majority. I believe at that point in time it was if you acted as an adult in public and proved you could manage your affairs as an adult, you were treated as an adult, which is a very different scenario than we have in modern day America, where if you're under 18, you're a child, you have no rights, you have no privileges. Everything is at the mercy of your parents, with very, very few exceptions. And so when you're translating, you need to be mindful of that. And when you're reading translations, you need to be mindful of that. And a lot of people don't think about that, I think, when they are reading translations from that long ago. Even just looking at something less fraught than religion, even just looking at the Iliad and the Odyssey, right? You've got there was a big stink a couple years ago, I remember this, about how there was a passage about somebody killing a bunch of girls. And traditionally, that was translated as killing the whores or killing the harem. And then different translator looked at it and she went, that's not the word for whores, that's not the word for harem, that's the word for young girl. Like, he killed the young girls, not the whores. And so everyone made a big stink about how she was inserting a political agenda into this. But was she? Or were the people who translated it as whores? Or were neither of them inserting a political agenda and they were going on what made sense for the translation? And again, the Bible's been translated so many times. It started in Aramaic, it went to Hebrew, it's been in Latin, it went to Greek, it went to ecclesiastical Latin, which is a whole different beast with its own set of grammar and abbreviations. If you're not fluent in ancient Aramaic, you are dependent on the translation work of others. This has been a very long tangent. How long have we been talking about this, babe? 47 minutes? That's longer than the actual episode. Yeah, we're 17 minutes into the episode.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on before we set any more of the world on fire here.
Hey, we can start the fire.
It's always been burning since the world's been turning. So to recap, Crowley and Gabriel are in the bedroom. Gabriel said his memory was in the matchbox. And then he took it out of the matchbox and it's everywhere. And Crowley's just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
But yeah, what is going on? Seeing we don't have much to say right now. We will be doing season 3. We'll arrange the podcast episodes within the playlist to where season 1, season 2, and season 3 are, right next to each other within the playlist when that comes out.
Again, with the mug with the irritating handle. Why is he drinking with the angel wings of the handle under his chin?
Shit, I just realized that I don't know why I can do this all. The characters from the first season don't appear in season 2 at all.
The them don't appear, Dog doesn't appear, Madame Tracy and what's his face don't appear, Anathema and Newt don't appear.
Yeah.
It's just Crowley and Aziraphale.
Yeah. And the demons and angels.
And there's even new demons, like Shax.
Yeah.
And new angels like Miriam.
Yeah, but they're not even mentioned at all.
Yeah.
Weird. It's like season 1 didn't exist.
To be fair, the end of season 1 was Adam making it so Satan was never his father and none of that ever happened. I'm glad Nina is pointing out how fucked up it is that Aziraphale is taking away everyone's free will and forcing them to act like dolls. Because that is super fucked up.
Wait, why do they want Gabriel again?
Because he's an archangel, and if they can destroy Gabriel, they can destroy one of the pillars of heaven. Aziraphale, Crowley's got his plans, and he goes, make your own plans. He goes, I am, but rescuing me makes him so happy. And Crowley's grand plan is to get himself arrested, go up to heaven with Miriam. It's a gift to the Magi all over again. And that's the end of episode 5. Keep rolling with the final episode, episode 6.
If I remember right, this final episode here is as is seen that I very much enjoy. I love how what's her name says, like you look like an angel, or whatever she says. You like more like a butterfly or a snake.
Miriam. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a nice call back to when he was a snake in season one.
Oh, the gravestone says every day. I didn't notice that before in the intro. No.
We hope you really enjoyed that. I certainly did.
Musical stylings of Rachel. That was my podcaster voice. Crowley's angel outfit isn't pure white like everyone else. It's kind of a dingy gray.
And this part is what's like, I love this part. Like, he's like, I opened it, I love that part. He's like, oh, I still have access. It's fun.
They never changed the password. Why would they? Demons don't come into heaven. There's one demon permanently discorporated. 2 demons permanently discorporated. 3, 4, down to 65 demons. 5, I think that's 6. 7.
Oh, so Gabriel was cast down.
There's 8.
The Gabriel was cast down
9, 10.
tomorrow.
11, 12.
Let's see. These demons just getting discorporated is just hilarious. This has been going on.
Maggie and Nina blowing him back with fire extinguishers. Oh, Zerofield pulled out his halo.
Lindy was above. Someone's to fly to a finger. There's a little bit of symbolism there on the touched fingers. That's all.
Buddy Holly playing in the background of the peace talks.
I think it's all. I love how she has little flies in the below her head. Yeah.
Bigger on the inside. Another Doctor Who reference there. Every time you ring a bell, an angel gets its wings. And Aziraphale just rang the shit out of that bell.
So where did Beelzebub and Gabriel go?
Crowley suggested Centauri. Alpha Centauri.
Where's it?
Crowley suggested Alpha Centauri.
Ew, where's it?
Somewhere in the galaxy.
Okay, I guess.
Crowley is the only one that recognizes the Metatron. That's hilarious. The Metatron offering Aziraphale the role of Supreme Archangel. So clearly manipulation to get him back under control. Metatron sweetened the pot by telling him that he could make Crowley an angel again. And Aziraphale is so happy to tell Crowley this, and it could be just like old times. And he does not get that Crowley wasn't happy there. If he was happy there, he wouldn't have been questioning. He wouldn't have fallen. Aziraphale is, oh my God, it was such a great time. We were together all the time. We were doing stuff all the time. We were working for God. And Crowley's is, Crowley was trapped, basically, having to do things he didn't necessarily agree with, doing things that didn't matter in the end because it's just going to get destroyed. Like, so what's the point in it? What's the point of God's plan? And as I mentioned earlier, having grown up in a very religious town, I know exactly where Crowley is coming from.
As do I. I relate to it very closely.
And I know exactly where Aziraphale is coming from, in that he just does not get it.
Yep.
Because I knew many people who just did not get it.
Or refuse to even attempt to understand. Even remotely. That one where Zeraphil says, well, of course she did. The hell's terms. He's bad guys.
We're the good guys. We're truth and light and good.
He says to Chloe, "You're the bad guys." To Chloe's face. That's as if Aziraphale literally slapped Chloe across the face when he said that. So he said those words.
Now Crowley has spent the last 2 seasons refusing to apply good to himself, telling everyone that he's bad. When someone he respects, says that. And it's also, Crowley can see the manipulation for what it is.
Yeah.
Aziraphale does not.
They like says himself. Chloe only respected Aziraphale up until he said that.
I think he does still respect Aziraphale. He knows how Aziraphale works. He knows that
Yeah, but like
Aziraphale means it as hell is bad, heaven is good. We know this. We're neither. But he's thinking emotionally.
yeah. Also, the thing is Aziraphale's forgetting that Chloe was cast out. He was punished all because he asked questions.
Oh, but Aziraphale's going to be in charge now. That's not going to happen ever again.
Sure.
Is how Aziraphale's looking at it, I think. The way the Metatron split them up, where he gave Aziraphale that offer.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
It just occurred to me too.
Yeah.
He split them up
Yeah.
because he knew Crowley would see through it.
Uh-huh.
And he knows that he can't manipulate Crowley the way he can manipulate Aziraphale.
But also, like, had he done the conversation with both of them at the same time within the library, the bookshop, Chloe would step in and be like, "No, stop, no way," basically.
Your kindly grandfather act isn't working on me.
Yeah.
Don't bring him coffee and tell him you believe he can do good when we both know you just want to use him.
It abuses goodness.
And I think Aziraphale is definitely kind of getting stars in his eyes over the idea of being in charge and running heaven the way he thinks it should be run. Having that power is not. He doesn't have the context to understand the responsibility. Like, we saw how he ran, quote unquote, a single meeting of an established council. How is he going to do as the head of a celestial organization? He is going to crash and burn, and everybody knows it. He has not developed the skills he needs to be successful. All right, let's get back to Crowley's crash out.
Very justified crash out. So this part, Chloe is speaking his heart. Aziraphale is just, like, confused, as if Chloe's speaking gibberish. And it's really hard for Chloe. But he's doing it because he feels it needs to be spoken. So Aziraphale knows how he feels about it. That one, nothing lasts forever, really saw in the wound with Kylie.
I love this conversation because they're two very common points of view. I'm going to join this organization so I could change it to the way it needs to be run. Versus, you cannot reform this organization. It needs to be burned to the ground and rebuilt completely. And you see that anytime there's an organization with authority. You see that when they talk about police. You see that when they talk about healthcare. You see that when you talk about politics. Every organization or any structure with any form of power, when people are talking about reform, those are the two positions. We can fix it, or we need to burn it down and start over. And Aziraphale's like, I can fix this. And Crowley's like, you can't. It's unfixable. Like, the problems are baked in from the start. And you can't really. There is no middle ground for reform. Either you keep the bones and build around it and change things as it happens, or you burn it down and start over. You know, see a middle ground between those two, babe?
Yes.
All right, where's the middle ground?
There needs to be a line, not one that's a dotted line like there is, but a solid line where if you cross it, actually justified punishment will be given. Not, hey, do as I say, not as I do. It's honestly the best way I can describe it. As he feels point, where things need to be changed, and he with that position, he could change things. But, like you said, he's blinded by Metro.
Metatron.
Yeah, Metro. By his words and the fact that he pulled him away from Crowley to talk to him privately and separate from Crowley, and the fact that he did not talk to Crowley at all, that he gave that coffee as a way of conditioning. Like you would train a dog, you teach them how to do so. You know what you want them to do. Like with feeding a newspaper, I guess. You see that like older TV shows or movies or whatever, and their reward is a dog treat. You get something, but they get something, but only because you got something out of it. You get to keep the newspaper. The dog just eats the dog treat and it goes away.
Yeah. I have the power. You do what I want and you get rewarded.
Exactly. And Crowley knows this.
Because Crowley's been on the bad end of it before.
He's been on both sides. He
Crowley's
sees both sides.
been punished directly, and he's been in heaven being burned by the archangels while he's wearing Aziraphale's face. As far as the angels know, the last time Aziraphale was in heaven was for his execution. As far as the Metatron knows, the last time Aziraphale was in heaven was for his execution.
But also, again, with the holy water and the eternal flame, they use those as punishment tools. They did not follow the set rules, which are not just. They are, like we said earlier, contradictory.
I think a large part of Aziraphale's naivete is that he has not been burned the way Crowley has. You know, Crowley was as naive as he was in the beginning of creation. He trusted in God, he trusted in heaven, and they cast him out, put him aside, shoved him down to hell with the demons.
Yes.
Aziraphale, as bad as. And then at the end of season 1, at the end of the book, Crowley again he stared into the faces of angels as they tried to murder him, essentially.
Yep.
Aziraphale has never done that. Aziraphale has never been cast out. He's never been put aside. He's never lost his connection to the heavenly host. And his execution was by demons who he knows are the enemy. He does not trust the angels because they have harmed him in the past.
But not like that. But like, Crowley was a very high-ranking angel because he was the one that created Earth and the universe, everything, blah blah.
He did not create Earth.
And they went anyway.
He created a nebula that would be scenery for Earth.
Okay, still, he did all that stuff. They did, and then later, just because he asked questions, he was punished and cast down to be a demon. And then what's her name? She was like rank 37.
Muriel.
Yeah, rank 37 angel. And, like the other angels, they look down upon her. Like this time, he knows he can, cast a shadow over Aziraphale and the other angels, even the high-ranking angels. He can cast a shadow over all of them. He's like, you're gonna do this. You're gonna do what I say.
Because he's the voice of God.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, my majesty, your highness, you blah blah, what's her name saying? And he's just like, yeah, shut up, And so she did.
Yeah, because he's the voice of God. He's God.
But there's the parallel there.
Mm-hmm.
He's the high.
Yep.
They're the low.
Yep.
And the problem is there's more than the him.
You quoting good fortune now, babe?
What?
If they ever wake up to there's more of them than there are of us, we're fucked.
That's
I'm pretty sure that's exactly how good fortune ended.
that's even more for Bug's life.
Yeah, I mean, class solidarity is kind of a running theme in a lot of the shows we like, honestly.
Yes, but still. Like, it all goes back to we are all human, we are all the same species, we all live on the same planet. And I feel like a lot of times we all forget that, even just for a moment, you know? And you sound like hippie, okay, sure, but,
I
you
think we could
know?
all use a little more hippie in our daily lives, honestly. But to go back to the hierarchy thing, it's interesting you say that because you look at hell, where there's one person who runs it and everyone else has jobs beneath her, versus heaven, which is a 39 ish layer bureaucracy mixed with military, with quartermasters and issued weapons, issued bodies, everything's tracked. Whereas in hell, it seems to run more on a, yeah, I got these many people, I got this many people. I think I have this much stuff to give out. And like and like you have different jobs. It runs more on physical. Like you've got the Lord of Hell, you've got the Dark Council, and then you've got everyone else. So it's like a 3-layer system. And then, the souls that are getting tortured, but they don't really count in the demon hierarchy because they're not demons. But, I mean, the souls in heaven don't count in the angelic hierarchy either. So, take your pick. But I think thinking of heaven as a bureaucratic military might explain a lot of the rigid power we see there, where each rank has its own sphere of influence.
By the way, we are stitching episode by episode by twos for each season for pacing, I guess, and then stitching it into one and editing.
The edited episodes 1 through 4 are about 12 minutes long. How long is this one, babe?
5 and 6, which we're doing now, we're at 2.5 hours.
And we have
before it cuts.
And we have 10 minutes left in the episode.
So yeah, when we have stuff to say. We have a lot of stuff to say.
We really do. And I know that I have been intentionally saving a lot of stuff for the end so that I can bring stuff from earlier episodes into it and kind of build my case. As opposed to just being like, oh, here's this, here's this, here's this,
Is that?
And the other thing?
But yeah, like I don't want to speak for Rachel, but like when I do our playthroughs of video games that I've been really trying to do more the commentary. It's just I'll be honest here. I sometimes find difficulty finding words to say and just get quite locked in to the game, you know?
Lock the fuck in, chat. Let's go.
Yeah, it much, like yeah, I just get immersed in the game. But like, I really enjoy when like we go in live chats or live streams, the people interacting with us in the live chat and when we upload stuff, when you all leave comments. It's kind of fun. At least for me, it's like one of the best parts of the content creator.
Yeah, we had that one. We've had a couple streams where people have been active in the comments section. It's been great. That last Undertale stream we did, and people were very active in the chat, that was amazing.
And it like really fully shows how you feel about Aziraphale, and Aziraphale just says, "I forgive you."
I was like, I don't want your forgiveness. Not fully sure what Aziraphale is supposed to forgive him for here.
I think it was probably the first words that Aziraphale thought of, like popped in his head, but it was not the right words to say.
Not in the slightest.
Yeah. And it just really pissed off Charlie even more.
It would have pissed me off too if I kissed someone and they're like, I forgive you. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, I agree. I would, especially if we've known each other for so long.
And we've done so much together.
Yeah, if there are no reciprocated feelings for that person that tries to kiss me, that's what you don't say, I forgive you though.
Yeah, you're like, I don't feel the same way.
Yeah, you see them coming, and you're like, hey, sorry, I don't feel the same way. Let's talk about this. No, I forgive you. What the fuck is it, Phil?
Oh god, that means it's gonna be Muriel and Crowley on Earth next season.
Is it the...
Instead of Aziraphale and Crowley, it's gonna be Muriel and Crowley.
Oh, is Megatron? I don't know what the fuck
The
his name is.
Metatron. It's a title.
Yeah. Is Metatron? He just sounds like Megatron.
It really does.
Is he forcing Aziraphale's hand and like pulling him away from us back up to heaven?
Not giving Aziraphale the chance. Well, he's acting like Aziraphale has already said yes, and not really giving him an opening to gracefully back out. And Aziraphale is too hung up on etiquette to make an opening to back out.
He's basically forcing his hand.
Yeah, he's like, all right, if you really don't want to do this, you have to speak up and tell me, because otherwise we're going full steam ahead.
Speaking of Farewell to Peace.
Exactly. That time has passed. There's a Xerophil starting to speak up.
That he places him down, then he follows.
Crowley's by the car, waiting to see if Aziraphale really goes through with it.
And
Oh, they're plotting to birth Jesus Christ. I guess they just birthed the Antichrist.
And there's the talent bomb that he just dropped.
Aziraphale's looking over to see where Crowley is, because now that he knows what the plan is, there's no way. There is no way he can let anyone else take this, because they'll do it in a way that will destroy the Earth. He knows he's the only one that has the opportunity to fuck it up without seeming fuck it up.
There's how Chloe listens to classical music.
That's the song that was playing at the end of the first season.
Yes, but it's classical music and his usual
Queen.
Yes, his usual genre of music. It's more Aziraphale's.
This was a wonderful way to end the season, with Crowley driving on one side looking a little pissed off, and Aziraphale on the other side of the screen in the elevator up to heaven, forcing himself to keep a happy and or neutral expression on his face while he is just screaming on the inside.
Because he now realizes the mistake he made. And he knows it's too late to go back.
Because now he knows what the plan is.
Yes. And Chloe's disappointed and sad because the Aziraphale did go with it.
Crowley has no idea what's coming, and Aziraphale has no way to warn him.
And I'm sure by the time he does get a chance, it'll be far too late.
If they knew about it beforehand, and they were both still on Earth, they could have done for the Antichrist what they plan to do, for the second coming, the way they plan to do for the Antichrist. And be like, all right, well, you're the good influence, I'm the bad influence, let's make sure this kid turns out normal. And instead, they're going for the second coming, which I believe kicks off the Rapture. The Rapture, final judgment, establish God's kingdom, usher an age of peace and righteousness.
But, yeah, I would, despite this being cliffhanger, I'd say they did a phenomenal job with this particular episode. They crammed in so much drama, performance, lore, romance, just so much. One episode, they really crammed it all in there. And just the right amount to make a good cliffhanger.
They also did a very good job this season. If you're just kind of passingly familiar with Christian theology, it's a good show. But if you know more of the history and more of the specific stories, you get a lot more meaning out of things. That I think is nice. They were very intentional in which stories they chose to make minisodes of, like Job.
Certainly back to Job, now that I think about it. He was, quote unquote, God's favorite, and he was given so many gifts, of which Job did not ask for. He just given all of gifts and whatnot. So God test Job to see if he would still be loyal to him if the gifts were taken away. And it's cruel. You get a child a toy they did not ask for, just a toy, say for Christmas. Yeah, you just give them a toy they might like, and you find out they like them. That they like the toy. And say, the parents drunk or whatever, and the drunken parent takes away the toy. Even if the kid did nothing wrong, it's cruel.
Are you calling God a drunk?
He's drunk with power.
Well, yeah.
But I'm using it as an analogy or simile, whatever. Sure, it's a good if and take away it, but there's cruelty in that. Like, why give something if he's gonna take it away? Especially if you're gonna take it away, but in doing so, taking it away, you give pain and suffering.
Because it's a bet with Satan.
But at the price of somebody having to go through that pain and suffering, even if they had not done nothing to deserve such pain and suffering. Like, yeah, this is like really super fucking dark, but like giving kids really deadly diseases or cancers, they did nothing wrong, and yet, one day they find out they have cancer. It's fucked up.
That's why I have a big problem with the phrase "everything happens for a reason."
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's not a reason.
Yeah.
That's just cruelty, and like they have to wonder. I know I keep circling back to questioning stuff, but they wonder why did they have to go through all this pain, all this pain and suffering? What did they do deserve such treatment.
Truth is, they didn't do anything.
Exactly. And yet they get finished regardless. And I'll be honest, I'm projecting with that, but I'm not gonna get into that.
All right. Predictions for season 3. I am going to go out on a limb, say the first scene is going to be Crowley on Earth when the rapture happens. No. I got a better one. Crowley's going to start seeing little signs and be like, oh God. And he's going to go to Muriel and he's going to manipulate her because she's still learning the ways of humanity into revealing that the second coming of Christ is happening.
She would know.
The
wouldn't she?
rapture is going to happen halfway through the season.
Mhm.
Crowley is going to be raptured so that Aziraphale can talk to him.
They raptured?
Yes.
You mean redeemed?
No, I mean raptured. Taken body and soul into heaven. Aziraphale is going to make sure that Crowley is included in the rapture because that is the only way Aziraphale is going to get a chance to talk to him. And he's going to be pissed and not want to listen.
Understandably.
Episodes 4 and 5, they're going to argue and bicker like an old married couple the entire time.
Again.
But they will prevent the second coming. Aziraphale will become a demon because the heavenly hosts will turn their backs on him. Crowley became an angel when he got raptured. And they're going to have a complete role reversal.
Shit.
There's my little fan fiction-y theory for season 3.
I don't know about the first half, but I could definitely see Aziraphale totally swapping roles here.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the fuck his name is.
The Metatron, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep calling him Negatron. He's gonna find out that one way or another that Aziraphale wanted to back out, like last minute.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he knows already.
Oh yeah, but he's gonna do something about it. He's gonna fuck Aziraphale up about it, or he's gonna turn him into a demon and just really fuck with him. He's gonna turn Willie back into an angel, and while Willie's really pissed about it, he's not gonna act like angelic and Aziraphale. He'll be upset about being cast down, but he's not gonna act like a demon. He's gonna act like an angel,
But his kind of angel,
Yes.
which isn't necessarily the most angelic angel in the bunch now, is it?
Yes, I could see them being like anti-hero sort of duo here. Like kind of they always have been
Mm-hmm.
these past 2 seasons, but maybe not white wings and black wings, but maybe both of them have like gray, like light gray wings.
Mm-hmm.
They're like in between,
Okay.
they like they're like their own classification of like an anti-angel.
They're on their own side.
Yeah. And like maybe I don't know, maybe some other angels and possibly some of the demons are like, we could do that. Maybe I should do that, and like, and they turned into an anti-angel.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure we just reinvented seasons 7 through 12 of Supernatural, babe. Just
And
saying.
I was gonna watch it, so I don't really know the context of it, but
It
anyway.
is one of the only shows I've ever watched where no one has insisted that there's a secret episode that makes everything make sense. And the secret episode is actually good. Everyone
Okay.
knew the finale was going to be dog shit and watched it anyway.
We're going on 3 hours for this.
Yeah, this is going to be a bitch to edit.
Yeah, I think this is more than enough, especially with all the edits we gotta do.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all hope you enjoyed.
Please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, ring the bell for future notifications. Let us know how heretical we were being in the comments. Because, boy, I'm pretty sure we invented at least one new heresy tonight.
Unintentionally.
And we will see you next time. Bye.
The next TV Time podcast we do will be Season 1 of My Hero Academia.
Hell yeah.
We will be doing season by season.
Including the movies.
Yes, we'll be going season by season and movie by movie in release order.
Plus vigilantes.
I guess we'll do Vigilantes. But if we do Vigilantes because Vigilantes is more or less a prequel series, we'll when they do those vigilantes, we'll have those seasons ahead of My Hero Academia within the TV Time podcast playlist. We hope you all enjoyed, like we said. See you next time.